If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. With Indeed, everything hiring is all in one place, and it makes it so easy. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences each day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. The more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join the more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Indeed.com/podcast. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Hello, everyone in podcast listening land. I'm Karen Devaney.
And I'm Ann Varner.
And we're sisters.
Welcome to Sugar-Coated Murder, where we'll discuss
And probably inappropriately laugh about and comment on.
Yep, one of our favorite subjects.
Murder. Oh, and we love to bake. And why not combine our two favorite subjects?
Baking.
And killers. Hey, Ann Varner.
Hi, Karen Devaney.
How are you today?
I'm quite well, thank you for asking.
Oh, I'm so glad. And thank you for my spot of tea.
You're certainly welcome.
I really like it, and I like the mug because this mug says life is good.
It is.
And life seems to be good.
It seems to be darn
Yes,
good.
it
I'm
is.
drinking out of my sister mug.
You darn tootin' you are.
Okay.
So, what are you going to bake for us today?
It is super cold here in Charleston, South Carolina.
It is 55 degrees.
Super cold. So I thought we needed something warm and gooey.
I love gooey.
So I came up with Blondies.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I love it.
Blondies.
I love
and I thought
Blondies.
as an extra special treat, because I know you love them, that I throw some butterscotch chips
Oh
in.
my God, now you're talking my love language.
Yes,
Oh my
very
gosh.
much. Yes.
You know, I never knew what a blondie was until I was in college.
Oh.
And my friend Elizabeth, Elizabeth, that's what I call her. So we were in college, and she made blondies one time, and I honestly thought she had come up with it. Like I was like, oh my God, you're a genius. She was like, you never had a blondie? I said, I don't even know what a blondie is. She described it as it's a brownie without the chocolate.
That's how it is described.
And I said, that's an albino.
Oh, right.
But no, it was a blondie. So anyway, shout out to Elizabeth B. for introducing me to blondies, because I've loved them ever since.
Yes, indeed. But
since.
We don't have them or make them often. We're so
really
used to even making brownies out of a box.
I know, we're so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I
love a
we have
blondie.
the time now, and
I know there's sometimes we go to restaurants and they have blondies on their dessert menu, and I have had one or two in my day.
Yeah.
I do enjoy a blondie,
I
so
do.
I'm really happy that you're making it.
Mine, like just a little gooey. I don't like them to be
dry.
Like
Me neither.
Like my cookies. I like a soft gooey cookie.
Yeah, I like a soft cookie, but I need to have a crunchy edge.
Right. Yeah. You really do.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing for me. I like the different textures. Hello, Trout. What are you doing? I was trying to ignore you, and now you are standing upon my knee.
But you're talking to him.
Oh, that's right. I'm not making eye contact. Okay, so I have a murder I'm going to talk about.
You should talk about a murder while I bake.
Because that's what we do.
What?
That is such a great idea.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, we should whiteboard that and see what comes up.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, so my murder is about this girl named Dana Nicole Lowery.
Alrighty, let's
She is 23 years old and from Minden, Louisiana. I think it's Minden. M-I-N-D-E-N.
Minden,
or it could be Minden, like minding your own business.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm going to call it Minden, and I'm sorry to the people of Louisiana that I have probably screwed that up. But anyway, Dana Nicole Lowery had two daughters, ages 4 and 1, and they were being raised by their father, David Cobb. They had never been married, and Cobb said that they had had a falling out and they had separated, and that she had left and left the girls with him, and she had kind of moved. She kept in touch with them. She called 3 to 4 times a week to talk to the girls, and he felt good about that situation. He was fine with it. He didn't have any bitterness towards her. She just needed to move on.
Okay.
One day she called and talked to David and said that she was traveling across the country selling magazines. And that she was currently selling magazines in Ohio.
Ohio.
I don't know.
I don't
know
what. Sure,
I'm not sure where that came
you
from.
may have just offended
all of the Ohioans.
Ohioans.
Ohioans. Okay, now I'm double offended, so I'm going to move on. So in May of 2006, the calls abruptly stop, and Cobb just assumes that she had moved on with her life.
Oh, no.
Yeah. In 2007, some skeletal remains were found along Victory Road outside of Marion County, Ohio.
It's not good news.
There was a detective that was contacted from the Ohio investigations. This detective that they contacted was in Webster Parish, Louisiana, who then reached out to Cobb to say that they had a reason to believe the remains were those of Dana. So Cobb reached out to Dana's relatives to break the news to them and to ask them if they could provide DNA in order to find out if this really was Dana and if they would talk to the investigators, and they agreed. So officials used DNA from Dana's daughter, one of Dana's daughters, and some other relatives to confirm Dana's identity. So who killed Dana?
Who killed Dana?
And why?
Okay, let's find out. Do we need to go find out ourselves? Like, do we need to go find out?
No.
Okay.
No, we're good on this one.
Okay.
So we're going to fast forward to 2016 in September.
Okay.
We're in Ohio. A woman calls 911 and whispers, "I've been abducted. Please hurry."
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, that just gave me the chills. I don't like that.
Yes. She was in Ashland, Ohio. She was being held captive. Police arrived to find the woman alive.
Oh, good.
And also found 2 dead bodies.
Oh, no.
She had been kidnapped after knowing some dude for about a month and a half. And he had held her and sexually assaulted her multiple times. He had tied her up inside this vacant home. And she told him that the perpetrator is Sean Great, who seems to be like a homeless man, a drifter.
Oh.
The police go and talk to Great, and he confesses to the kidnapping.
Great. He's not so great.
Yeah, but it's not Great, it's Grate, like you're grating on my nerves.
Okay, well, there you go.
So that is definitely...
You're grating on everybody's nerves.
You have grated my last nerve. He says that he had kidnapped her because he was going to marry her. So he was keeping her for sexual activity.
Oh, God.
And that he had no intention of killing her.
Oh.
Even though there were 2 bodies in this home where he was holding her
Never
captive.
mind the dead bodies. This is just for sex.
It was just for sexual activity.
Don't panic.
Don't look over there.
Don't panic.
Don't worry. I got this.
I need to make sure you're the Marion type.
Yes. Well, she wasn't because she called 911.
Well, yeah.
So one of the bodies that was found, they identified as Stacy Stanley, 43 years old. She had been reported missing by her son after she had stopped at a gas station late at night for a flat tire.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. The second body found was that of Elizabeth Griffin, 29 years old. She had been reported missing earlier that month from her home after it had been burglarized. Upon speaking to the police, Great also led investigators to another location in a neighboring county where the remains of a third body was found near a burned out home.
Good heavens.
Who was Sean Great?
A serial killer.
Seems like it. He's described as a magnetic charmer.
Oh.
He could easily draw people in and make friends easily everywhere, but he had a dark side.
Really?
Yeah. One man said his friendship with Great fell out over a loan. And when the man asked Great to repay him, he received a string of angry texts that ended with a text that said, "Meet the other me."
Oh, golly.
The man walked away.
You go ahead, keep that money.
Man walked away from the loan.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. He's good.
I don't need it.
Turns out Great had a long history of arrests in his lifetime. He had been married for a year, and he had 3 children, but not from his marriage. He had 1 child from this marriage. He had 2 other children that he had fathered.
Okay.
Turns out after high school, he spent 4 years in prison after violating his parole from a burglary case.
All right.
He had also collected charges of domestic violence, aggravated menacing. Now that's something. Aggravated menacing.
Wow. What does that mean?
I guess
you're going to really grate my nerves, literally?
I'm aggravated to the point that I'm menacing you.
Wow.
And failing to pay child support. That was a little bit of an issue for him.
There you go.
Yes. His former wife of 1 year had filed for a protective order against him before filing for divorce.
Oh, gosh. Bless her heart.
So Great had drifted between Columbus, Ohio, and Cleveland, Ohio. He tried to make a living off handmade wooden signs that he would sell at craft fairs and such. He didn't seem to be very motivated to do much more than that. He either lived with random women that he met or squatted in vacant homes. When they said random women that he met, it reminded me of the Seinfeld episode where Elaine starts dating this guy and at first she thinks he's like this really cool guy, like he's real outdoorsy and all this stuff.
Oh, right, and then finds out he's homeless.
He's homeless. Yes.
That would be just my life.
Yes, that was hysterical. Do you remember that? That's what it reminded me of.
Oh, gosh.
So, let's talk about his victims. Okay?
Okay.
Of course, the first victim is the abducted victim that survived his sexual activity, premarital,
right.
Sexual activity. The second one, like I said, was Stacy Stanley, 43. She seemed to have been a prey of convenience for him. Wrong place, wrong time. Flat tire will get you killed almost every time.
This just makes you not want to travel.
I feel like we should charge flat tires with aggravated menacing.
Yes.
Because I think that's what it leads to. We talked about Elizabeth Griffin, 29. He had burglarized her home. He had kidnapped her, strangled her, and according to court documents, had abused her corpse in a way that would outrage anyone with reasonable sensibilities.
No.
Can you say ooh? Like, that's so ooky.
Gosh,
that's ooky.
That is ooky.
So ooky.
No.
That's disgusting.
No.
So the fourth victim was the third body that he had led investigators to, the one next to the burned out home. This was in Richland County, Ohio, and her name, it turns out, was Candace Cunningham.
All right.
They seemed to have known each other. They were Facebook friends.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that's intimate these days. I mean, that's practically getting married right there.
No strangers on Facebook.
No. So on her Facebook page, there was this cryptic message alluding to his proposing of marriage to her.
Oh, golly.
We're not sure really what happened. We don't have a clear motive for why he killed Candace.
She must not have made the cut for marriage.
Maybe not. Maybe she said, I don't want to marry you.
And then you gotta go.
There was a fifth victim, and Great had confessed to killing some woman around 2005-2006. He said she was his first kill.
My God.
And he killed her by luring her into his car, choked her to the point of unconsciousness, took her back home to his house, stabbed her in the neck, and then dumped her body along Victory Road in Marion County, Ohio.
Good Lord. Why have I never heard of this guy?
That person that he dumped was Dana.
Oh, shit.
So his motive for killing her, he said, was she had sold magazines to his mother where he had been living at the time. And he saw her out in the neighborhood delivering newspapers and magazines to the neighbors, but she had not yet delivered the ones to his mother that she ordered.
Oh, no.
So he took care of that.
Oh.
I don't think she's ever going to get those magazines.
I don't know.
Turns out this was Dana Lowery, 23, out of Minden, Louisiana, the lady that I talked about in the beginning.
Oh, wow.
He also was linked to killing Rebecca Lacey, 31. Her body was found in March of 2015. Her death was originally ruled an overdose, but he confessed to it, saying he strangled her to death and dumped her body.
Jesus.
Yes. Because of the time gap between Dana in 2006 and Lacey in 2005, they think there are more victims.
Oh my gosh.
He originally confesses to the abduction, which it's like, okay, you got to confess to that, and the 2 bodies that were found.
Right.
And then he told them about Candace, and then he tells them about Dana, and then eventually he also tells them about this Rebecca. When they first arrest him, he
How do you
cops.
think these conversations go?
Oh,
Where he's like telling a story, he's like, oh wait, I gotta backtrack because there was one more I forgot to tell you about.
Yeah, and I mean, how about this? Are there any more victims? Well, there was that one that was the one that started it all. Yeah, as I remember that girl in 2006.
I mean, I would imagine.
I'm sure there's a taped confession. You know, I love to watch those confession tapes when they confess, but I'm sure it's something like that just they were reeling. He confesses to those, but then when he gets his attorney appointed to him, because, you know, he's homeless, he doesn't have any money.
Right.
He immediately changes it to not guilty.
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
I was joking. I made those stories up.
I didn't mean it. And then eventually his attorney filed for a plea of guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah.
Because that's always
something they try.
My whole thing is, if you killed that many people, you're damn right you're insane, you maniac, but that doesn't mean that you are not culpable.
Right. That doesn't mean you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah. Whatever. Dana's family had, they had come to terms with her death and everything, but they didn't know what happened to her from the time she was found in 2006 until 2015.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was not even reported missing by them because, they didn't think she was missing. They thought she was traveling around.
Right. Nobody knew.
Yeah. So for a year, she was dead, and then they found her body. And then after that, they didn't have any idea why she was killed or who killed her for like 10 years.
That's insane.
Isn't that sad? And then some random serial killer goes, oh, by the way,
I got her.
That was my first victim.
I'd like to know a little bit more about, was her family looking for her?
No. Remember she left and she called her husband and said, I am traveling across the country selling magazines.
And I get that she might not hear from her estranged husband, but the rest of her, I would think that my sister would be like, I understand you're selling magazines cross country, but bet you could call me.
Well, I agree, but she was calling and keeping in touch with her girls. I don't know if she had kept in touch with her other family. It's kind of a weird story, and it seems like this David Cobb dude was not overly surprised when she just kind of took off to go sell magazines. I think maybe it was part of her personality, and then because she was never reported missing to the police, and he just figured, well, she stopped calling, I guess she's just moved on with her life, because that just must have been her personality.
Right.
I mean, nobody had reported her missing.
Wow.
And then she gets found dead. And then they're like, oh, gosh, she was found dead. I wonder what happened to her. And then for 9-10 years, they have no idea. And then some random ass guy goes, oh, by the way, killed that one, dumped her on this road. And they're like, oh, shit, she was killed by a serial killer.
Oh, my God.
And she was the first one. She's the one that started the whole situation.
That is insane.
I know. When they interviewed Great's mom, moms, and their boys.
Very familiar.
They just, they say he's not a monster. He's not a monster. She says that his 4-year stay in prison on the parole violation.
Right.
Early, this was like right after high school, in the 90s. She said that prison took his mind.
Okay.
And that's why he killed.
It was not crazy for a minute before, but...
Well, here's the thing. So... he goes to prison in the 90s.
Right.
He gets out of prison still in the 90s, okay, late 90s. Goes to live with your mom. If you think that your son's mind got taken in prison, could you call somebody?
Right.
Could you give somebody a heads up and say, dudes, you know what? Your damn prison system, you done ruined his mind, but he is a dangerous man. But that's moms. We don't see the evil in our kids. So, and I've seen interviews with lots of mothers of lots of serial killers, and they've always said he was not a monster.
He was
a good guy. And a lot of his friends, a lot of his contacts, even his prison buddies said he was just a normal dude.
Just a normal prison dude.
They said for a guy in prison, he was a normal dude. He played softball, he played chess, he was just a normal dude.
I wonder if people said the same thing about Charles Manson or Ted Bundy.
I think Ted Bundy absolutely. But I don't think Charles Manson. I think Charles Manson was crazier than a box of even June bugs.
Yeah, he was crazy.
By the time, before he even went to prison, I don't think there was any holding it together, but Ted Bundy, he was very charismatic. My God, he dated and lived with a woman and her daughter, and they absolutely adored him.
And just were dumbfounded when he was.
And he was intelligent. He had been a psychology major. He had a psychology degree, and he was very learned with the law. So this guy, all the people that they interviewed said, listen, the dude seemed normal to me. He was a little to himself at times, but he didn't rant and rave about anything. He made friends easily. He was, he had a magnetic, charming personality with a dark side.
Yeah, I would say like the darkest of dark sides.
Yes. Eventually, Great was convicted of 5 counts of murder, 1 aggravated kidnapping. It really aggravates people when you kidnap them. And he has been sentenced to death.
Oh, good.
And he is currently awaiting his death sentence execution.
All right.
So I did find out where he is in case you want to go see him. He doesn't seem like somebody I need to have a conversation with, but just in case he's at the Chili Coast, I'm sure I am massacring that name. It's Chill, Chili Coast, Cothe.
All right. I'm good.
Chili Coast Correctional Institution in Ohio. I can get you a plane ticket one way, and
I'm
you can
really
go talk
good.
to him.
I'm good. I don't feel the need.
Mayhaps you'd like to speak with his mom,
No.
who says he's not a monster. He's just prison took his mom.
I don't feel like I would fit into his marriage criteria either.
Oh, because you would call 911. Yeah.
Yeah.
After being held for sexual activity.
Yeah.
Tied up. That's his story. And I just think it's crazy because I originally was just looking for missing person cases that were solved where the body, picture this, Google. Missing person cases where a body is recovered and the murder is solved.
Wow.
That's my Google search.
Yeah.
I
worry
about
our Google searches as of late.
I know. So I landed on Dana and thought it was just going to be, one of these stories where she went missing and then they were like, oh, well, her husband did it. Because when I'm reading about it and this David Cobb, they're talking about him in Louisiana and he's keeping her kids. And I'm like, dun, dun, dun. And it wasn't him at all.
No, yeah, very twisty turning.
It was very twisty turning. And then I fall into Sean Great, who's a damn serial killer.
We never even knew.
I've never heard of this dude, and I gotta tell you, God forgive me for saying this, but he is not a bad-looking guy.
Are you serious?
Like, I'm telling you, I feel like it's somebody you would be attracted to.
Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop your talk. Stop what you're saying.
I mean, I could see like a Rob Lowe vibe going on with him. So,
well, I do absolutely adore Rob Lowe.
So when I looked at him, I was like, that's something my sister she might be interested in him.
No.
I'm just saying, Sugar, he didn't look that bad. Like, he didn't look like a Charles Manson that looks like he's got googly eye. Like, he don't have the crazy eye.
Well, perhaps he would tickle your fancy.
No, well, first of all, I'm married, so my fancy is already being tickled. Thank you. And, no, not my type, but totally your type.
Oh,
A
no.
little Rob Lowe with some, like, work boots on.
Okay.
That's what I'm picturing.
Like Rob Lowe from St. Elmo's Fire.
No, Rob Lowe, like, if he were homeless.
Oh, God.
Like if Rob Lowe were homeless and looking a little scruffy.
So, no. Not my type. I don't appreciate homeless people.
It's not. First
I'm
of
not
all,
judging homeless
we don't
people.
judge homeless.
I just don't date them.
Okay, but what I'm saying is it's that scruffy, I woke up like this kind of a vibe. Didn't get a shower in a couple of days, but I can still pull it off.
No, you cannot pull it off. I would be the first to tell you, no, you cannot pull it off.
You'd be like, I'm going to clean you up a little bit. I mean, isn't that what Elaine did? She was like, I think he just needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
Who?
Elaine on Seinfeld. She meant that.
Yeah, no, that's not me.
That's not you. I mean, I just get a Rob Lowe vibe from him.
Okay.
And I just thought, oh gosh, he might be my sister's type.
No.
I should show his picture to my sister.
Oh, well, you can show me his picture, but
I'm going to show it to you. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
I really don't think so.
Oh my gosh. You are just prejudgmental.
I am when it comes to cleanliness. Yes.
He doesn't look dirty, though.
You said he looks homeless.
I'm just saying in his mugshot,
it
looks
didn't
like
have a shower for several days.
I'm saying, look at a little bit of Rob Lowe, like the gray, but some gray hair scruffiness going on. I can see you. I can totally see you with this type. Don't tell me that I
What's the matter with you?
I'll put this up. I will put this in our fan book. I don't even know what that means. On our fan page when we release this episode, and y'all can tell me if this doesn't look like Rob Lowe with a little homelessness. Then y'all can let me know. I'm just
such a weirdo. It does not look like Rob Lowe.
I feel like there's some
When's
Rob
the last
Lowe.
time you saw Rob Lowe?
And that stupid show that you watched that I watched for 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You're such a weirdo. Why are you trying to set me up with serial killers?
I'm not.
There's something wrong with you.
I'm not. I don't want you to be romantically involved with him, but I'm just saying you might not. You might enjoy just a face-to-face conversation with him.
I would not.
I don't know what he looks like now. This was his mugshot, and he has gone through a lot since they arrested him, and he's confessed to all the murders.
He looks like a meth addict to me.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
My spidey senses would totally go off if I saw him in real life. They would be like, no.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I think you're missing out on a whole type.
And thank the Lord for that.
If you had a dating profile, that's what we would say.
Which I don't. You tried on a shorty episode to get me to hook up with Goat Farmer. And now a serial killer.
I'm just trying to help you with live your best life, sugar.
I am living my best life.
I don't know. I feel like this would add a little spice to that.
I'm good.
Don't you like a little spice with your sugar?
I do enjoy spicy sugar, but
well, do I have the spice
not
for
that
you?
kind.
Okay.
That one might be rancid.
I bet you he's on one of those Marry the Prisoner websites.
He probably is.
You could have a pen pal thing with him.
I don't want one.
Okay. Well, now that we know that she's poo-pooing all my ideas.
All right, so the Blondies are in the oven.
Thank God.
They've got about 20 more minutes to cook.
That's the perfect amount of time.
Didn't hear like the whirring of the mixer.
Can you just tell us the ingredients?
Oh, sure. Flour, white sugar, brown sugar, unsalted butter.
I like all the sugars.
Mm-hmm. A couple of eggs, some vanilla, some baking powder, and I put the butterscotch chips in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can mix it all in a mixing bowl. You don't have to have a mixer.
That's kind of nice. Like if you're camping and you just need to.
It's a very thick
dough.
Yeah, thicker than cake.
Okay. So it's a thick batter.
Yeah, it is. And then you spread it. It tells you to spread it into a pan that's lined with foil or parchment paper. I choose parchment paper because I just can't think of anything worse than
biting into some tinfoil.
A piece of tinfoil.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so that's what's bubbling up in the kitchen. You can keep an eye on it. Let's pause.
And I'm going to press pause and just remember, when you hear this episode, make sure you go out to the Facebook page. And I'll even put it on Instagram in case you follow us on Instagram. And I will let you know what this dude looked like so you can see if he's your type. It's that Rob Lowe homeless look. So I'm gonna pause now.
All right, we're back.
Okay, that was a fun break.
Yes. I won't talk about what happened.
Let's don't.
But
that's why we take a break.
One day.
Not one day. You tell my secrets, I tell yours.
I understand. All right, so let me ask you a question. Have you ever watched the show How to Get Away with Murder?
I think I watched like 2 episodes.
Well,
it seemed a little dramatic for me.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was just like,
it's really interesting.
I guess I just couldn't understand what was happening.
I don't think you gave it enough time.
But
don't worry about it now because it's getting ready to go off the air.
So I don't want to be involved in that.
This story that I'm about to tell you could have been part of that script.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So this is the story of Lee Porter. She just up and vanished in June of 2014. She was small. She weighed 98 pounds.
Oh, my.
She was feisty. And she was a lover of selfies.
Oh.
She loved to snap selfies and post them on the internet. She grew up in, oh God, I hope I pronounce this right, Cotopaxi, Colorado. 3 hours outside of Denver.
Cotopaxi.
Population.
Codoxapy.
No.
Cotopaxi.
Nope.
Cotopaxi.
Stop. Population 47.
Nuh-uh.
So I will only offend
47?
47 people.
Yeah, I have only offended 46.
So she was described as a selfie hound, always snapping pictures of herself. She graduated high school and started college at Trinidad State College, 2 hours from her home.
In Colorado?
In Colorado.
There's a Trinidad State College?
There is.
In Colorado.
I wouldn't lie.
It's not in Trinidad.
It is not.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
You got it?
Got it.
You're okay. Great.
Move on, please.
Just a few months into her college career, she dropped out. And she moved in with her boyfriend. I think this might be a daughter's mother's worst nightmare because he was a 38-year-old tattoo artist named Jesse. Yep. Jesse was known as a drug addict. And I'm sorry. Her name is Lee. It's spelled L-E-A, but pronounced Lee. Okay. So Lee quickly followed suit. She struggled with addiction. And she tried really hard to kick that habit.
Bless her heart.
She had started attending some Narcotics Anonymous meetings. And she told her friends that she worried about getting clean because she didn't know how she was going to do it with Jesse. Because he wasn't willing to give it up. But...
Well, she had a lot more life to live than he did. Because he had already lived a big part of his life.
Right, and she was still a teenager, technically.
Yeah, so maybe that's why he wasn't willing to give it up.
So as Lee's trying to get clean, Jesse ended their relationship, leaving Lee with no place to live. So she packs her car up and she heads toward Denver, but she doesn't have a real plan. She turns to Facebook telling her friends that she's about to be homeless. And then nothing. No more posts, no more selfies, no more checking in. No more Lee.
No more Lee.
Just done. So Lee and her brother Max were really, really, really close.
Okay.
Like really close. They talked every single day. And as a matter of fact, when the police started to interrogate her ex-boyfriend Jesse, he mentioned that he knew something must have happened to her because if Max had tried to call her and she didn't answer, there was really something wrong. Because oftentimes during their sexual relations, if Max called Lee answered.
And that's a very sweet thing for a sister that she's so connected to her brother, but
Jesse got real mad about it.
I would imagine so.
And they fought often about that relationship.
Right.
So
hold on, my brother's calling.
I got to talk and make sure he's good.
Yeah.
So just before Lee had moved in with Jesse, her brother Max had moved to California to start his own business. And that really sent Lee into a depression and probably is what prompted her to move in with this 38-year-old tattoo artist, drug addict.
Name, Jesse.
Yeah. So,
Jesse's got a gun. Isn't that a song?
Is it Jesse? I think it's Jamie.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. You're talking about Jesse's girl?
Oh, Jesse's got a girl.
Your music tingly sensation is all off today. It's not working out.
It's not working.
So when Lee posted her last update on Facebook, Max started to try and get in touch with her, but she never answered the phone, never responded to his text messages. And with Lee missing, the police start to reach out. They go in, they talk to Jesse, who had moved to the East Coast.
Oh,
to see.
That was abrupt.
Yeah, he did. He packed up and he was like, I'm breaking up with you and I'm moving to the East Coast. Later. They wanted to see what he might know about where Lee could be. So he went to the police station. They started asking him questions. He admits that he and Lee had a very rocky relationship, but says he has no idea where she might be. And Jesse is very cooperative during the interview. With his alibi, his location, the police cleared him. He's good. Lee's mom is very, very concerned. And since Lee is still a teenager and in college, her mom pays her cell phone bill.
Oh, okay.
So Lee's mom pulls up the cell phone bill and starts calling every single incoming and outgoing number
Good for her.
on
That's
that
exactly
bill.
what I do too.
Right. And she's really worried that something really bad has happened to Lee. she sees a number that keeps popping up over and over and over again. And she calls it, and it belongs to a 23-year-old man named Christopher Wade. It turns out he is also from Cotopaxi.
Cotopaxi.
Okay. You've not seen the word. Just saying. So I'm not sure why you're trying to correct me
I'm
on
not
how
trying
to
to
pronounce
correct you.
it.
I'm trying to figure out all the possible ways to say it. Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying
pretty sure
there could be options
good.
with all these letters. There could be options.
Yeah. And Trout, you've upset my dog.
He's telling
upset.
on me now.
He is. He's upset.
All right.
So anyway, Christopher Wade went to high school with Lee. After doing a little bit more digging, she finds out that Christopher had been Lee's self-appointed accountability partner. According to Christopher, he was trying to help her get off drugs.
Oh.
Yeah. So Lee's mom was even more concerned when she hung up with Christopher because she didn't know that Lee was on drugs.
Oh.
So she was like, wait, what? What's happening? Yeah. And this Christopher Wade is like, yeah, she's been a heroin addict and she's trying to get clean enough in her accountability partner.
So she didn't know the whole time she was living with Jesse, the drug tattoo guy.
Right.
That Lee had her own drug demons.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just getting that out there.
Okay. But remember, she's 2 hours away at college. And this is very early in her, I mean, she's only, like her mom didn't even know right away that she had dropped out of college and moved in with the kid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the man, the old man. Christopher also told her that Lee had been with him the night she disappeared, but that she'd gotten a phone call and left his apartment very quickly. Lee's mom calls the police. She's like, okay, I've talked to this guy. He says he was here, blah, blah, blah. So the police say, okay, well, we're going to give him a call. So they bring Christopher Wade in for questioning. He's also very cooperative and tells them that he offered to let Lee stay with him for a couple of days until she could find her footing. He said he'd been really worried that she might be suicidal.
Oh.
After talking to Jesse and now Christopher, the police are wondering if this is a case of Lee just running away. So Christopher takes to social media, and in an effort to find Lee, he even talks to the press and asks for help in the search. And Lee's family covers the state with missing persons flyers, and they talk to the media begging for any information that anybody might have of Lee. Lee's brother Max, I understand that my dog is making noise. He's upset. You've upset him.
He is not upset still over what I said.
He is. He's terribly, terribly upset. They're looking for any information. You've interrupted me. Okay. Brother Max. Max has come back from California, and he's really frustrated because he feels like the police are not telling the family anything. Like, anything. But I want to say it was 7 days. 7 days after the investigation started, a video does surface of Lee at a Boston market with a guy her mom didn't recognize. And she was fine. They were having some lunch, and she looked perfectly fine. But the police look at the video, and they're like, this is that Christopher Wade.
Right.
So that makes sense with his timeline. They were together.
Yeah.
They had a bite to eat. Went back to his apartment. All right. So 7 days into the search, they decide that they want to talk to Christopher's roommate. So they've decided now they need to go in and do a little search, just a look around.
Okay.
Christopher Wade's apartment.
Okay.
And he's like, sure, whatever I can do, come on in. So the police go in and they start looking around, and I saw the pictures of it.
Uh-oh.
And I can not imagine going in there and being comfortable as a girl, especially a teenager. I don't care who you are, but it was filthy. There were food boxes everywhere. There was trash on the floor.
Yeah, but don't college kids live like that most of the time?
Yes, but Christopher Wade's 23.
Right.
And he's not currently attending college.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you were saying.
I know. Still.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't typically see girls living that way, I guess.
Okay.
It's my
That's
thought.
true.
So, and the police investigator said it was filthy. There was no soap or sponge to be found. They had nothing in sight. It was all dirty dishes in the sink, all over the counter. It was just disgusting, and it smelled bad.
I'm sure.
As they start to kind of search through Christopher's room, they do see a knife next to his bed, and they notice that there are no sheets on the bed, which, by the way, yuck. Yuck.
Yeah, but I've heard about people sleeping with no... Ugh.
I know. Listen, I once
I'm not
dated a guy who didn't have proper sheets on the bed and the mattress pad cover, and you can bet your bottom dollar that before I ever slept at his house, he
was
had
all taken care
new
of.
sheets. Yeah, he got set up. Yeah. It's like, if I'm sleeping here, it's all going to be clean.
It could be like a dude
it
thing.
Is. It is.
It's a dude thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, the knife had bleach spots on it, and when police asked him about the bleach, he said that he had cut his hand on it a few weeks prior and had cleaned it using bleach. So police bagged the knife, and they think maybe we need to have a formal interview with Christopher.
Okay, like a come down to the station.
Come down,
put it on the record.
Let's do this officially.
Okay.
And police decided to call in a homicide investigator to question him. And he starts to ask Christopher about his background. Christopher says he was raised in a deeply religious home, but that he has a pagan obsession. So he whips out some tarot cards that he carries around with him in his pocket. And he says that he had done a very revealing reading for Lee. He said, I know your mouth is hanging open.
I'm not sure how to take any of this right now.
I know.
I'm waiting for the shoe to fall.
Right. So the first card he pulls out has to do with the high priestess, he said, and then the ace of wands. And he said that the two cards together would indicate a pregnancy. Wait, what?
Okay.
What?
All right. This is the reading that he gave to Lee?
Yes.
Is there one, is she up and left?
Right.
I've been like, I'm getting the hell out of here. You got me pregnant with some cards.
Well, and the investigator said, was she pregnant? And Christopher said that Lee had told him she had missed her period. So maybe.
Okay.
And then the investigator's like, well, are the two of you intimate? And Christopher's like, no. We're strictly platonic. Like, when I put the offer out there for her to come stay with me for a little bit, it was all, she said, I'll come to your house and hang out, but this has got to be strictly platonic.
Yes, I'm going to sleep on the pizza boxes. You sleep on the dishes.
Right. And Christopher said, I told her, and he even showed text messages, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody's going to make a move on somebody, you'll have to make it on me because I'm not going to make one on you.
Well, putting it out there.
Right.
That's throwing down the gauntlet.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a little hopeful.
Right.
Just saying. I'm reading something into that one.
Yeah, and he said, I'm just
your typical pagan, obsessed guy with a nasty house. That's all I am.
Exactly.
I'm a cool dude in a loose mood.
Okay. He did, however, say that the night that Lee disappeared, they were playing video games, and she leaned over and started kissing him. And he said, now, she kissed me, and I will admit, I kissed her back.
Oh, my gosh.
Because, you know.
Where is this going?
Well, I'll tell you.
What color are these blondies supposed to be? Blonde? Dang, I forgot.
Bingo.
Just as I was saying that, I heard myself, and then I was like, pull it back.
I believe I have a cake tester on the counter, or if not, it's in the drawer.
All right.
It's got a little yellow handle on
I know
it.
what it looks like. I got one, too.
Okay. I'm going to move on with my murder.
Go ahead.
So with this information in mind, and thinking about the missing sheets on Christopher's bed, and the knife situation, the investigator kind of turns up the heat and says, dude, what happened? And he's like, nothing, it's good. And then Christopher, he cracks. He's like, okay, all right, I admit it. I got rid of the sheets when Lee's mom called me because I knew we had had sex.
Oh.
And there was DNA from both of us on the sheets, and I thought...
And her mom might notice?
If the police came looking, they would think something had happened when it was just having sex.
Okay, here's the thing, big news alert. If you're just having sex and it's all on the up and up and there's nothing to hide, no need to get rid of the sheets.
All right, I'm just going to say right now, though, was he sleeping on the sheets?
I don't
like
know.
All that time, was he sleeping on the sheets? Because that's nasty. Like after you have your thing,
I don't think we should go
clean
here.
your stuff up.
I agree, but
Jesus.
I'm going down a really dark path right now.
Oh my God. I'm just saying cleanliness matters.
Cleanliness is close to godliness.
Yeah. So the investigator turns up the heat a little bit more on his questioning and asks Christopher, where's Lee's body?
Oh gosh.
And Christopher says, I maintain my innocence. I've done nothing wrong. But if you're accusing me of doing something to Lee, I'm going to need a lawyer.
Oh man, he lawyered up.
Lawyered up. So they got to let him go. Got to let him go because they don't have any evidence to keep him.
Oh good, you found your food.
Yes, Trout. He was hungry this whole time. All right, so next they're going to call in Christopher's roommate. He had a roommate.
Okay.
Right? His name was Jesse. Different Jesse. This is Jesse Williams. I'm going to call him
Jesse too.
I'm going to call him Williams.
Okay.
So Williams was at home, was not at home the whole night, but was at home on the night that Lee disappeared. He says that he came home from being out and that Christopher had put a tie on his bedroom door, which was the signal for, I got a girl in here.
Okay.
So cheesy.
It is.
Williams said that he thought it was a lie because he said in all the time that I've been with Christopher, that we've been roommates, I've never seen him with a girl. Never.
He ain't never put a tie on the doorknob.
Yeah, and he said, I never heard a girl, I never saw a girl in the apartment that night. But I will tell you something kind of weird that happened was I was sleeping on the sofa in the living room, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, Christopher carried something out of the apartment. I don't know what it was.
Oh, well, the sheets?
Right. So Christopher told Jesse that he was just transferring something he had in his old car into his new car. And then he went back to his room and closed the door.
He was transferring something from his old car to his new car that he had to take out of the apartment?
Yeah, I guess he had an old car and he put the stuff from that car in his bedroom. And then he bought a new car and he was
and
putting...
at 3 o'clock seemed like the perfect time to do
I
it.
was like, oh my God, I just woke up and I've got this girl in my bed.
I can't get back to sleep until I get this done.
Have to get that done. Yes, because I'm sure you want to keep things tidy in your super clean apartment. Anywho, the investigators get a search warrant for Christopher's apartment.
Oh, you think?
Right?
Poor people that have to search that place with all the nastiness.
I know.
But they've seen it.
The nastiness is going to pay off for them.
Oh, look at that.
They use the luminol spray and they find blood all over the bathroom sink and all over the bathtub.
Oh.
They also find a t-shirt in Christopher's room that has a blood stain on the sleeve. Then on the floor of the apartment, they find a receipt from the 7-Eleven.
What did he get from the 7-Eleven?
I'll tell you what he got.
Coffee, because they've got good coffee.
They do have good coffee.
I love their coffee.
Yeah, but no. He got bleach and gloves.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mayhaps around 3 a.m.?
So, guess what 7-Eleven also has?
A surveillance camera.
Yes.
Yay!
Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
In so many ways.
Yes. So
yes.
At 1 o'clock in the morning is when Christopher went to the 7-Eleven and he is seen buying the bleach and the gloves the night that Lee disappeared. So now they're going to put detectives on Christopher 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're like, we got to figure out what this dude's up to. As investigators are kind of doing their thing, Max is getting super impatient and he's like, this is driving me nuts. We got to, this guy did it. He's the one that killed my sister. We got to figure out where she is. I got to figure this out. So he starts kind of befriending Christopher on text.
Okay.
Dude, I know you're going through a lot. I'm sorry. I know they're pointing the finger at you. I think you're innocent. And Christopher is like, yeah, thanks. And Max is like, well, I'm going to tell people to stop pointing the finger at you, try to relieve some pressure. Maybe we could meet up and you could just talk to me about what happened that night. And Christopher says, oh, I can do better than that. I can help you maybe even find her. I'll do a tarot reading for you.
I'll bring my
tarot cards.
This is giving tarot card readings a really bad name.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to say, I think this guy is a Looney Tune, Fruit Loop, Applejack, cray-cray.
Right.
I think that the tarot cards are just being misused by him. And I don't think that tarot cards are always misused by the people that use them.
Right.
Just putting it out there as a PSA.
Right. Okay. So Christopher says, I'll bring my tarot cards, I'll do a reading, and we'll see if we can figure out where she is. Max is like, great, let's meet at this park. There's a gazebo there. Let's meet there. So Max is very smart about this because he brings a friend. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't see me going and hanging out with this psycho alone. He brings a friend and he brings his phone because he's thinking, I'm going to record this conversation because I'm going to get this jerk to confess. So Max and his friend Eric meet up with Christopher at the gazebo, and Max sets the stage. He brings some of Lee's personal items, and then Christopher is totally convinced that the reason they're there is for this tarot card reading, and they're, he's like, I've totally got this.
He's not a bright boy.
No. So Christopher starts laying out the cards, and he says that he doesn't see any intentional harm toward Lee.
Not intentional.
It's nothing. Whatever happened to her was not intentional.
Completely an accident.
Right. And Max loses it, and he's like, dude, what'd you do to my sister? Where's my sister?
Aww.
You killed my sister. And Christopher's like, I don't know where she is. I didn't do it.
Let's
and
ask the tarot cards.
Max is like, you did it. Where is my sister? And like back and forth, like 20 times. Back and forth, back and forth. You did it. No, I did it. You did it. No, I did it. And then Christopher points to one of the cards, the tarot cards about death and judgment. And he says that he knows what happened to Lee. He tells Max that he killed Lee, but that it was in self-defense. He's like, dude.
Oh, yeah, because she's teeny tiny and weighs 99 pounds.
She's, right, 98 pounds.
Oh, sorry, I've just added weight to the girl.
Yeah, it's not nice. So he said that they had gone, the night that she disappeared, they had gone to the Boston market, and he'd gotten her dinner, because that's a fancy date. And then they went back to his apartment, and they had sex, and then she grabbed the knife and threatened him with the knife and said, I'm going to kill you if you don't give me drugs or money to get drugs. I'm going to kill you. 98 pounds of I'm going to kill you. Christopher was not like a big bulky guy, but he was a tall, normal guy that could. And he also had been taking some jiu-jitsu.
I thought you were going to say ginseng.
No.
He was
classes.
taking some supplements.
He'd been in the army before, so I have no doubt that he could have figured out how to get the knife from her.
You think?
But what he did was he grabbed her and he squeezed her.
He squeezed
around her neck.
Oh, I just happened to land my hands right there around your teeny tiny little neck.
But what he wanted to do was just render her unconscious. He's like, I knew if I could get her to pass out, she'd drop the knife, her muscles would relax, I could get the knife away from her, and then I could...
And then ask the tarot cards what to do next.
And then as I release her, she would come back and be
like
conscious.
Sleeping Beauty.
And it would be, everything
would be fine.
Problem was, she didn't wake up.
Oh, it's totally her fault.
Totally, but that was my intent, and she was going to kill me, and I had to defend myself. Mm-hmm. Max just loses it. He's furious. And Christopher said...
his hands didn't land around that guy's neck.
And Christopher said, my plan is that I'm going to go to the police and turn myself in tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And Max is like, you think I'm going to let you leave here? And he used some very naughty words.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, little Max. Good for you.
He was super mad. He was like, no. And he jumps...
Oh my gosh, your dog has lost it.
He's also very mad about this whole...
He thinks this guy is dumb, and he's really upset about how he has misused and misrepresented tarot cards.
Yes. Eric jumps up, and he grabs Christopher and punches him in the face. Max. Max jumps up, punches Christopher in the face. The friend Eric... runs over and pulls Max off Christopher. Right. And he said, and they interviewed Eric, and he was like, yeah, I wanted him to get one good punch in before I pulled him off. But I wasn't going to pull him off before he got at least one good punch in.
Good for him.
So, and Max had been recording the whole conversation.
Good.
What Max didn't know was that Christopher was under surveillance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Right?
Yeah.
So he goes to call 911 and puts the phone up to Christopher's mouth and said, "Tell him what you did."
Oh.
And Christopher says, "I'd like to confess to a murder." And about that time, the police come out of the bushes.
Hello.
Hello.
Surprise. Not your birthday.
Hello. And they arrest Christopher.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, the DA was like, "I've never seen anything like this. A family member that goes to interrogate, questions, gets a confession, records it at the same time the police are investigating, and they're right there on the scene." Right.
Yeah.
So remember how I talked about in the beginning about how to get away with murder?
Yes.
This is when things are going to get a little tricky.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So
No.
Christopher Wade had been taking a criminology class, and his professor remembers he did really well. He described him as gifted but awkward. As a matter of fact, he said there were several attempts. He couldn't even get a full sentence out when there was a girl around. Like, he was awkward.
Oh, my
Super
gosh.
awkward. Right. But he also says that he wanted to be an investigator, and he wanted to learn how to find evidence in a crime scene, and he also wanted to learn how to hide evidence for a crime scene. When questioned with his attorney, Christopher thinks he's so smart because he's like, "Oh, I'm very familiar with how this is going to go down."
Yeah, I'm a practicing cop.
Right.
Just not an official one.
And he's already screwed up because he tried to clean the blood up with bleach. Hello, did they not teach you in criminology that it's not going to go away?
I personally think there are just some things in criminology that they shouldn't teach.
Maybe.
So maybe that's one of the things that they withheld.
Right. So Christopher tells the investigators that the night Lee died, he goes through the whole scenario of I squeezed her around the neck, thinking she would regain consciousness. When she didn't and knew she was dead, I reclothed her. I put her clothes back on for her.
Yeah.
And
I'm painting the picture.
I placed her on my bed, and I grabbed a duffel bag from my closet and stuffed that 98-pound Lee into the bag. Then I covered her body with trash bags. And then I picked her up and I took her to the dumpster outside my apartment and threw her away.
Oh, Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So here's the thing.
Oh,
In Colorado, you have to have a body in order to be charged, in order to charge someone with first-degree murder. Okay? A fact that Christopher learned in his criminology class. So the police go out and they start searching the landfill where the trash from the dumpster was taken. 19 days. Can you imagine? 19 days into the search, they find a pillowcase. In the pillowcase was Lee's wallet, cell phone, and the clothes that she had been wearing that night.
Trout.
I know.
You're going to end up in the dumpster.
Come up here, Bubba. I know, baby. It's really sad. I'm so sorry. It's sad. I know. Yes. So after 40 days of searching, there was no sign of her body. They still couldn't find the body. Yeah. So the prosecutor says, okay, I am going to strike a plea deal. I'm going to offer second-degree murder in return for the location of Lee's body. Because they thought, this dude, there's no way that body's out there. We found the pillowcase.
Yeah, if you find the pillowcase, so that that got thrown away.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
And they lived in a part of Colorado. It's very mountainous. There's some gorges around. It'd be very easy to get rid of a body that way. But tell us where she is. Her family needs that. They want her back. Christopher's like, I'll take the deal.
Good.
So he goes in. They sign all of the paperwork. He sits down with investigators, and he tells them the exact same story. I put her in a duffel bag. I covered her with trash bags. I put her in the dumpster. He doesn't change his story. But because they've already signed all of the paperwork and there's no evidence that he's lying, they can't take the deal back. I'm about to come unglued. I know.
I'm about to take a hit of rum.
I know. So here's some things that come out about creepy Christopher.
Yuck.
During the investigation. During the investigation, creepy Christopher's mother told investigators that he once told her that he fantasized about kidnapping a girl. In high school, creepy Christopher kept a journal where he talked about kidnapping and killing a girl and putting her body in a wood chipper to get rid of the evidence.
Oh.
Creepy Christopher was discharged from the army because they thought that he was going to harm a woman. What the freaking hell?
Yeah, I mean, this
What
guy
the
is
hell?
a ticking time bomb. You've let him back into society.
So many missed opportunities,
I mean,
right?
it's our mental health system. We have to have a way
There has to be.
to get these people before they strike.
How can you be discharged from the military with somebody reporting somewhere that he is a threat to women and not be taken into custody? I don't know. There has to be some kind of something that happens between we're kicking you out of the military because you're crazy and walking back on the streets.
And not only that, but I'm a mama.
I know.
And I'm a mama of a son.
Yes.
And I love him and would go to the ends of the earth for him. But if he disclosed to me at any age
right.
that he had a fantasy about kidnapping a girl.
Right.
Or that I found out he had journals about kidnapping a girl and putting her in a wood chipper.
Right.
I would at the very least, I would go to the police and I would go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist to say, there is evidence here that my son is quite disturbed.
Right.
And I want to make sure that somebody has this flagged because he is not well and he should not be just on the street doing whatever the freaking hell he wants to.
Exactly.
And that I would do not only for the protection of some woman, but for the protection of my son.
Yes.
To get him help
Yes.
or to get him off the street so he doesn't kill a person.
Exactly.
Because I don't want my son to kill a person.
No.
I don't want him to be that guy.
No.
And I don't want him to go to jail forever. And I would rather him be in a psychiatric hospital than than for me to have to live with that on my conscience.
Right.
So, my son, if you are listening, if you tell me, you can tell me anything, but I am going to act on it if I think it is for your best interest and the best interest of society.
Yes.
That's my job as a citizen and as a grown-ass woman.
I don't know. Agreed. I mean,
What is his mama's name and what is her phone number? I'm going to write it down right now.
Well, his last name is Wade.
I'm coming for her.
And that's Waide. Wade.
That's the stupidest way. I don't even know who spells their name like that, so I don't think that's true.
And she lives in
Acapulco's Pizza?
yes, Colorado.
Acapulco's Pizza?
Yes, so you can Google her. You can Google her and see.
I'm going to say.
But I think it might be too late to have a conversation with her because her child Creepy Christopher was sentenced to 50 years in prison.
It is never too late to have a conversation. Unless she is dead, it is not too late.
Right.
No. I don't want to have a conversation with Creepy Christopher. He's done his thing.
Right.
I need to go have a conversation with this woman.
Right.
I'm going to be her Facebook friend first.
There you go.
How do you spell that town? Kakapapa?
Yes. I'm scared to give you the information because you're writing it down.
I'm writing it down. I'm going to see this woman.
It was.
Because I go to Denver.
Yes, you do. You really, really do.
Yeah, I'm going to Denver.
Your kids are going to be like, why are we going
We're going on a field trip, people. It's another one of those life lessons that Mama's going to teach you and you're never going to forget.
Yeah. So now I don't think that's going to work out.
I'm going to need the spelling of this town.
I'll give it to you after this episode.
Okay.
Stay tuned,
people.
Codepoxy.
Codepoxy.
So let's try some of the
yes, they smell delicious.
The Blondies.
And they happen to be a beautiful blonde color.
Fantastic.
I know.
See if we can't calm you down a little bit.
I'm so pissed off at Christopher Wade's mom.
I know. So he's eligible for parole in 2062.
Oh, no, he isn't. No.
I mean, no, not eligible for parole. He gets out in 2062 because he was only sentenced to 50 years. 50 years.
So wait a minute. That actually means he will be up for parole before then.
That's what my thought is, but they did not give me that.
I'll do some research and find out when that MFR is coming out too.
Yeah. Well, hopefully her family continues to go in and speak about this heinous crime.
Yes, heinous.
That happened to her. But
ridiculous.
mental health is a real thing. We got to talk to our kids about it. And we have to make our kids grow up in an environment where they feel safe enough to tell us these things. And as parents, we have to act. We can't just say, oh, that's just my boy's just being a boy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, there's no such thing as a boy being a boy anymore.
And that could be
all that. That's very antiquated thinking.
And it could be a cry for help. It could be, hey, I'm having these thoughts, and I think they might not be okay. Yeah. And as a parent, you should say,
they're not okay. And we're going to get you some help.
Right. That's exactly right. In our opinion. That's our opinion.
That is my unprofessional, unsolicited opinion, but it's a good one.
It's a really good one. I have to agree.
Okay.
So are they sticking to the pan at all?
No.
Well, the parchment paper worked out well.
I love that.
All right. Well, I see that you're eating one.
No, I just had a little crumb.
I wondered if I could have a taste.
Yes, I'm going to give you a taste.
Thank you so much.
And
Let's see, how did I do? Oh, nice gooey. All right.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Wow.
The butterscotch is making me
They're amazing.
dream.
Well, hopefully it'll warm up and we won't freeze to death in our 50-degree weather in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that
You nailed it.
I did.
Nailed it.
Sorry. Hate to toot my own horn, but
Toot toot.
these are good.
Yes, I'd rather you toot your horn than toot your butt.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Oh, that's gross. Okay, well, since we're off to a whole other rabbit hole, we're going to cut this off. And y'all stay sweet.
Have a wonderful week.
And we'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.